Hey everyone, welcome back to the second week of Live Youth Group. We're so excited you are here. Before we start, make sure to pop in the chat and say hi. Tell us how you're doing, how your school day went. We'd love to hear from you. Also, make sure to send the link below to 3 people that you know and invite them to youth group. And we're so excited to be here today. We have a full schedule tonight. Maya has an awesome game, and we have some worship with Steven and the Zits. We also have an awesome message from John, so make sure you stay tuned for all of that tonight. And now let's get started with the service. Maya will be next, but before that, we have an intro from Miles. We're so glad to have you all join us tonight, and without further ado, I'd like to welcome you to welcome Miles' video.
Yeah, I'm married. Does it matter? You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm. What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? Khakis?
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
Hey, what's up, youth group? I'm Maya, and Charlotte's also here with me. And right now we're going to be doing some trivia questions. It's back to school theme too, so you'll have fun with that. Number 1, about how many words can the average number 2 pencil write? A, 5,000, B, 10,500, C, 20,000, or D, 45,000?
Let us know what you guys think in the comments.
Yeah, I don't know, that's pretty. Again, that's A, 5,000, B, 10,500, C, 20,000, or D, 45,000. And that's in like the entire, like with sharpening involved, obviously. All right, and the answer is D, 45,000. Did you know that an average number 2 pencil can draw a line that is 35 miles long? That's crazy.
Question number 2. What is the fear of going to school called? A, glossophobia, B, trypanophobia, C, didaskaleinophobia, or D, galeophobia?
Those are some pretty long words.
Yeah, had some trouble pronouncing those.
I don't know, yeah. C's pretty long.
What do you guys think?
Glossophobia. How do they even come up with these names?
Who knows? All right, guys, the answer is C, didaskaleinophobia.
All right, so the next question number 3. The earliest erasers were made from which material? Was it A, bread, B, sponge, C, sandstone, or D, they simply couldn't erase things? I don't know, could they erase things? No. How would sandstone work? It's A, bread, B, sponge, C, sandstone, or D, they just couldn't erase things. Pop your answer in the chat in those final seconds. And the answer is A, bread.
Question number 4. When was the oldest public school in the U.S. founded? A, 1943, B, 1878, C, 1709, or D, 1635? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. All right, the correct answer is D, 1635, and it was established in Boston, Massachusetts.
All right, question number, 5. Americans spent a combined amount of how much money on back-to-school clothing in August 2019? Is it A, 1 billion, B, 3.5 billion, C, 8 billion, or D, $15 billion? That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
And that's all for children. That's all in 1 year.
And just for clothes, right?
Yeah, I know, just for clothes, not including all the other materials.
Supplies you need.
Yeah. All right, and the answer is C, $8 billion. That is a lot of money.
Now moving on to question number 6. What is the most popular lunch students eat at school? A, the turkey sandwich. B, macaroni and cheese. C, pizza. Or D, spaghetti and meatballs.
I know, I would definitely want to have pizza.
Yeah,
You know,
I would
but,
agree.
You know, school pizza. Don't know if you can trust that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think it is.
I don't know. Mac and cheese. Mac and cheese sounds good.
All right, the correct answer is A, the turkey sandwich. The most popular snack food students eat is hard-boiled eggs.
It's hard to believe, right? I know. Next question. American students' favorite subject in school is generally A, math, B, science, C, social studies, or D, English. I don't know. I don't like my favorite's not on there. I feel like people would say recess, but like that's not
or
really a
lunch.
subject. Or lunch, or like I don't know, art or something.
Yeah. PE.
Something fun. Everything that's not a real subject. A, math, B, science, C, social studies, or D, English.
Let us know in the comments what your favorite subject is.
Yeah. All right, the answer is A, math. I know, kind of hard to believe, but yeah.
Who would have known? All right, next question is how many students does the average middle school in California have? A, 325 students, B, 450 students, C, 575 students, or D, 600 students? Let us know what you guys think. How many students do you think the average middle school in California has?
Comment how many students your school has, and we'll see if it matches up.
Okay, answer A, 325 students. Answer B, 450 students. Answer C, 575 students. And finally, D, which is 600 students. Let us know in the comments how many students you think the average middle school in California has. Yeah.
All right.
Our middle school had, I think, 500. All right, the correct answer is 575 students. Let us know in the comments if you got that question right. And the smallest middle school in America has only 10 students and 1 teacher.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Which of these famous people is not a high school dropout? Which one finished high school? A, Bill Gates, the creator of Microsoft. B, Jeff Bezos, creator of Amazon. C, Johnny Depp. And D, Steve Jobs, founder of Apple. I know.
They're all super successful.
I know, right? Who knew? I guess they didn't really care about it.
The richest man in the world didn't complete high school.
I know. Goes to show what you have to do for money. I know. All right, the answer is in fact B, Jeff Bezos.
Wow.
I know. He created Amazon.
So
Pretty
he
awesome.
did complete high school, Jeff Bezos.
Yes, he did.
Okay. Next question. How many students does the average high school in California have? Our options are A, 1,027 students, B, 1,359 students, C, 1,481 students, or D, 1,836 students.
It's a hard one.
Let us know in the comments and maybe think about how many students your high school has.
Yeah. Who knows?
All right, the correct answer is C, 1,481 students. Penn Foster High in Scranton, Pennsylvania has over 50,000 students. It's the biggest high school in America.
Wow. Sounds like a college. All right. A few more questions. What is America's most popular school sport? Is it A, soccer, B, basketball, C, football, or D, basketball? I think the world's most popular sport is soccer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think it is, Maya?
I don't know. I kind of know the answer, so.
Yeah. Well, let us know what you guys think in the comments.
Also, comment which sport you guys play
And if you don't play sport, do you play an instrument?
or do any other thing. All right, the correct answer is D, basketball. Go Spurs.
Wow. Okay, the last question of the night is how much homework does the average student have every night? The options are A, 1 hour, B, 2 hours, C, 3 hours, or D, 4 hours.
It's a lot of homework.
Yeah.
Even one homework.
How much
Why
how
even
much
1 hour?
how much homework do you have on the average night, Maya?
On the average night, I would say really depends, but probably around 2 hours, 3 hours maybe.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let us know what you guys think in the comments. I'll give you a couple more seconds.
How many hours you spent on homework?
Yeah.
Hope it's not too much.
Yeah. All right, the correct answer is B, 2 hours. Now keep in mind this does include elementary school students, so high school students probably spend more than 2 hours every night.
Probably.
And some students spend upwards of 6 hours on homework every night.
Wow. Anyway, thanks for playing trivia with us. Hope you guys had fun. And yeah,
All right,
stay on.
moving on.
Man, it's so hot. I know. Maybe it's like the 11th plague and God scheduled it late. I'm telling you guys, the climate is changing. Yeah, it's about 52 degrees. It's gotta be hotter than that. 52 Celsius. We're out of Egypt now, remember? Hey, you see that? What is this thing? Hey, this is pretty nice. Get your fan now. Only 29 shekels.
Happening. Yeah. If you guys could get your masks on whenever you're done, that'd be great. What is up, students? How is it going? It's so good to be in youth group with you online. It's really cool to have some students here with us as well, most of which are student leaders. I hope you enjoyed that game. I really didn't know a lot of the answers, but that was a lot of fun and another way to learn a few more things. Now I have all these random facts that I may not ever use, but one of my favorite questions was, I think it was erasers made out of, and it was bread. Like, that's awesome. That is such a win. But who thought, like, hey, let me grab some bread and try to erase some lead? I don't know who thought about that, but it was great nonetheless. If you are in the comments, I just want to say hi. I can see you, and I can also see myself here, which is kind of weird. I just want to say hi. I'm so glad you're here. Shout out to Zach. Sarah E., who said her sport is sleeping. I agree with you, and I think that's Brett Yates' favorite sport as well. But it's so good to see you guys. What's going on? Sophia, Ben Yeager, 2 for 2 even though there were like 15 questions, you got two right. Good job, man. Way to go. That's the way to do it. It's good to see everyone in the comments, even though we're not able to gather in person. Nonetheless, it's really good to see you. If you're a little confused on why we have those mini videos, instead of having our transition slide that just says like message incoming, we just want to do something fun. So we had Jake from State Farm come up, and we had some Israelites from back in time hang out with us. So that was youth group. If you want to do a commercial, let me know. If you want to get involved, do something funny, do something wild, you're more than welcome to do that with us. Now we're going to transition to a time of our message. We're continuing our series called Fights. Last week, we talked about how we need to fight ourselves, not literally like Dwight Schrute, but we talked about how we need to fight the desires that we innately have to not turn to Jesus. And today, we're going to talk about fighting as well, but we're going to talk about fighting our culture. And no, this does not mean when Chick-fil-A has their cow outside that you go and fight the cow. It doesn't mean you go to the store and you fight people who are trying to sell you things. You don't try to fight famous people. That is not what that means. We're going to talk about how do we as believers and followers of Jesus fight our culture and seek Christ and love people all at the same time. How does all of that work? How can we do that? And that's really difficult to figure out. So for the next 10 minutes, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. how do we fight our culture and honor Jesus at the same time. So if you're here right now, I just want to say, stick with us. This is going to be great. I hope that you're going to see God in a deeper way, be challenged, be convicted, let the Holy Spirit work through you. So as we start our message, let's go ahead and pray together. Lord, I thank you that we get to gather in this place. I thank you for technology, and I thank you for all the people behind the scenes that are able to work and move and get all these things figured out. Lord, I pray that you open up our hearts and our minds to receive your word this evening and to be forever changed right where we are. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. We're going to read our theme verses for our series, which is from 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 24 to 27. And they say this: do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like somebody running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. No, I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave. So after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize. 1 Corinthians chapter 9. When I think about running, usually I think of students at FPCSM Youth. I can't tell you how many track or cross-country events I've been to, but there was one in particular that I'll never forget, and it was the very first time that I went to a sporting event. And if you know me, most likely I've been to your event or some sort, Sarah and I or other leaders, because we love to be involved and connected in your life outside of youth group. And this one running event, I think it was cross-country from middle school, and so all the schools were there, Abbott, Bayside, and all the other ones. And I remember specifically Ben Yeager's race when he was running, and I think he was a sixth grader at the time, my first year there. And he won the race, which was really awesome. And I was able to take a photo with him winning. The next year, I went to the same race, and he finished the race, and he got first place. But what's so interesting is, as you know, Sarah and I love capturing your highlight moments. We love being involved in your life, going to your sporting games, cheering for you, making that giant Daniel head. We love being involved in what you have going on because we care about you. And we also love taking photos. Most of the time, if you have photos that are posted, it was probably from me or from another leader. But when we're at cross-country events, we always try to take photos, and Sarah does a way better job than I do. But we always like to take photos when you're mid-running. But it's really hard to look good when you're mid-running and you're like breathing really heavily and you're sweating and your hair is a mess and you're like red because of the sun and you're just exhausted. It's really difficult to find a good photo. But if I took a photo of you and you weren't sweating at all and you looked like you were totally fine, it would then reveal that you weren't really giving it 100%. And so when we went, it was really good to see everyone giving 100%. And the same thing in a relationship with God. God calls us to give 100%. He calls us to go above and beyond, to exert a lot of our energy, right? To seek him. And the idea of seeking him isn't just sitting still, right? It's actively going and seeking him. And that's exactly what Paul said in those verses. I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I'm not just training and doing all these things and going to church just because I want to go to church. I'm not doing it just because that's what my parents do. I'm doing it with a purpose. And in our lives, I want you to run with a purpose. I want you to run with your eyes fixed on Jesus. And we're going to talk about that next week. But today we want to talk about how do we fight our culture. And as you know, if you don't know, rule number 1 about Fight Club is... No, it's don't talk about Fight Club. That is rule number 1. You do not talk about Fight Club. But today we're going to talk about how do we fight in our culture. And here is our first point. And I don't even know if this is an actual word, but it is for today. And it is fight confirmation, not confirmation, conformation. I don't know if that's a word. I Googled it and it said it was, so we're just going to go with what it is. In Romans chapter 12, verse 2, it says this: do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good and pleasing and perfect will. Romans chapter 12. So it says 2 things right there. Do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed. If I've learned anything over these past few months, it's really easy to conform to what the world says and values. I can't tell you how many Netflix shows and movies Sarah and I have finished. If I told you, like, I think I'd be fired. Like, that's how many I've seen, and it's embarrassing. And you probably feel the same way, whether it's video games or TV or sleeping, right? All these things that we're doing to use our time. And I think a lot of those times we're conforming to what the world values. The world values Netflix, and the world values doing whatever makes you happy. But as we know, Christ values loving others and caring for others and growing in our relationship with Jesus and giving it our 100% and exerting ourselves to be faithful followers of him. And those are the things that he wants us to transform into. And if your life doesn't look like Jesus in a positive way right now, I want you to be encouraged and know today is the day that everything changes, right? Today is the day that you're going to start seeking Jesus again. Today is the day you're going to start getting connected in groups again. Today is the day that you're going to keep seeking him, even though you're not perfect. And if you're not perfect, know that I'm in that same boat with you. I am imperfect, but I'm seeking Jesus. So us as believers and as Christians and young people, we need to fight the desire to conform to the world. The world is going to tell you to value things that really don't matter. Value your social media status, right? Value how other people perceive you or see you. Value your popularity. Value how cool you are. Value how good you are at sports. Who can relate to that, right? Value how smart you are in all of your A's. And Christ isn't saying those things are necessarily or inherently bad. He's saying if I'm not first, then all of those things become bad. They become the first. And we want Christ to be first in our lives. We don't want to conform to the standards that they set at school or wherever else. We want to conform to what Jesus has called us to. And he's called us to be his people forever and always. I can't tell you how many times I was in high school and my friends would ask me, what was I doing on a Friday night? And if you're in high school, you probably know what they meant by when they were asking what I was doing Friday night. Not great things, not fun things, not things that honor Jesus. And time again, I would say, no, I'm busy. I'm just at home. I'm going to sleep. I'm a little bit tired. But I knew that I didn't want myself in those environments. So I had to transform myself instead of conforming to what the world standards were. Point number 2 is this: fight to put yourself second. For me, this is probably the most convicting one. In Romans chapter 12, verse 3, it says this: for by the grace given me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourselves more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of us. It says, don't think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of others. Right? Think of others with sober judgment. Think of others more than yourself. And for me, I think, and I don't know, maybe I'm just taking it from the awesome philosopher Phil Yamahiro. And he always says, right, his sin of choice is like pride. And if I were to say my sin of choice, it would be selfishness. I love to think about me. I love to do the things that comfort me and the things that are easy and the things that please me and the things that make me happy. Can anyone relate to that? Right? We love to do the things that we love to do because that's how we were created. But I need to know that God called me not to stay in my bubble, in the John Garcia world, but he's called me to branch out and care for people who are not cared for, to love people who are not loved, to befriend those who need friends. And I think if the easiest thing you could do to put yourself second is find someone who's part of youth group or at your school who doesn't really have good relationships or friendships, and invite them into your group. There's nothing more amazing than somebody choosing you out of everybody else. There's this story that I've shared before. Back when I was in high school, every Saturday, every Thanksgiving, we would get together and do something called Turkey Bowl, where we would all wake up at like 7 in the morning and we would find a local park, and there would be like 24 of us, and we would just play football the whole time. And as you know, I don't really have the body shape of a super athletic person. I mean, a pretty highly athletic person, right? But not super athletic. And I remember when we were picking teams, there were two sides. And the things about picking teams is if you're last, I don't care how you feel, it's like the worst feeling ever. But for some reason, the person that I was on their team, the first person they picked somebody who was like 6'2" or something. And then the other team picked. And now it was back to my team that they were eventually going to pick me. The second person they picked was me. coming in at a tall 5'3" and a half. Right? At that time, I probably weighed 112 pounds. They picked me second. And I can't tell you how excited I was because I've never forgotten that story. Even though I looked around and they could have picked people that were like 6'3", 6'4", way stronger, way faster, but yet they chose me. And I think in our relationship with Jesus, when we're caring for others and putting ourselves second, we make people feel how I feel when I was chosen before everybody else. And it's our job as believers is to choose others before ourselves and encourage them and love them and be there for them. So fight your desires and put yourself second as much as possible. And again, my sin of choice is selfishness, and I know I need to figure that out. And here's our third point is this, and we'll close on this point, is we need to fight for what is good. Romans chapter 12, verse 9 says this, love is sincere. Hate what is evil, cling to what is good. Love must be sincere. I love that before they talk about this verse, they need to redefine love. Because in our culture, love means so many different things. I love Taco Bell. Okay, that one might be true. But people are like, I love Disneyland, right? I love pens. I love YouTube. I love my phone. And we just throw around this word, right? I love chocolate. And we do all of these things, right? I can't go on a diet. I love my food too much, right? I don't want to exercise. I love my own comfort too much. And there are all these things that we love, but we need to redefine what love is. Love must be sincere. Hate will cling to what is good. In our culture, it promotes a lot of evil, a lot of things that are not encouraging, a lot of things that are discouraging, a lot of things that are going to put you down. And us as believers, we need to be different. We need to cling on to what is good. And do you know what is good? Jesus is good. And Jesus' message is love me, love others. Simple, right? Love me, love others. And in so doing, we'll change the world. When we love him and we love others, we will change the world. So when we hate what is evil, we are inherently loving Jesus. When we are clinging to what is good, we are following Jesus with all of our hearts. And I want you to be encouraged right where you're at. Cling to what is good. What are those things and people and groups that are going to push you to Jesus? Those are the things that you want to cling to. Those are the things that you want to hold on to for dear life. And so I hope that you are encouraged. Fight, right? Fight our culture. Fight confirmation. Fight to put yourself second. Fight what is good. And our big takeaway for this evening for our message is this. Fight for transformation and not conformity. Fight for transformation and not conformity. I hope that was encouraging. I hope that that you really enjoyed that. I hope that you got something out of that. Right now, we're actually going to flip our script a little bit, and we're going to have some worship. And then after worship, we're going to have Abe come up, and he's going to share a little bit. But right after worship, we're going to have a quick video of Abe, and then Abe is going to come up and close. So today, don't worry, we still get some awesome worship in from Stephen and the Zits. It's just a little flip because we like to switch things up because we're youth ministry. So let's go ahead and switch over to worship right now.
Hey, welcome youth. We're so glad that we could be together again this week. As we begin to worship, just know that God loves you so much. And the word says that whoever believes in him is a new creation, and that's real love right there because, God doesn't want us to stay the same that we were yesterday. He wants us to go from glory to glory. And may you be blessed and just sing along, worship, dance wherever you are. Amen.
Makes my heart come alive.
about to life and I make you. Reaching beyond the skies, running deep, stretching wide. Perfect love realized here with you. Now this love is for real, you will never let go, never let go. Oh, it's more than just words, love beyond my control, out of control. And this is real love, this is real love. And this is real love, this is real love. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart to the very end. And Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is real love, this is real love. In your heart I'm found. I want you, I want you. You won't let me down. You got me, you got me. Now this love is for you, you will never let go, never let go. Oh, it's more than just words, love beyond my control, out of control. Hey. And this is real love, this is real love. And this is real love, this is real love. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart to the very end. And Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is real love, this is real love. And this is real love, this is real love. And this is real love, this is real. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart to the very end. And Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is real love, this is real love. And this is real love, this is real love. And this is real love, this is real love. you don't call when you want me. I wanna love like you love. I wanna bleed like you bleed. Ooh. 'Cause I don't wanna go if you're not going before me. I don't wanna go if you're not going before me. I don't wanna go if you're not going before me. I don't wanna go if you're not going before me. Oh, oh,
All right, guys, I promised you last youth group, Samuel said 15 likes, and then I do a gallon of milk, so here we are. You guys liked up the video, got like 30 likes on it. Samuel only said 15 for me to do gallon of milk challenge. I'm a man of my word, so gallon of milk right here, all me, all right? But I'm kind of gonna finesse, because I don't really want to get sick. So I'm gonna give myself the whole day to do this challenge. But I'm gonna drink all of it, okay? I promise you. By like 12 p.m. tonight, I'm off to a late start already. It's already like 1 o'clock, okay? But I'm gonna drink this whole gallon of milk in one day, okay? For the boys, all right? And then if you like this one, maybe John will do it next week, all right? Alright guys, I'd say we're like halfway there. We passed the handle, so progress. Second glass of chocolate milk. Milk chip number 1. Mint chip. I need some more there. Say hi to Dad. I'm almost done. I'm at like the bottom of the line. Alright, Taco Bell and milk. Guys, last of milk right here. Go for the chug.
He's gonna die. Oh, that's nasty. Oh, it's nasty.
Alright. I feel great. I did it. A whole gallon of milk. John Garcia told me to fake it. Samuel told me not to do it. But I'm a man of my word. Mom told me not to do it, but I did it. Good boys. Love you guys. All right, guys. 1 out of 10 maximum. I do not recommend this to you guys, okay? It was not a good experience. Even if like you could do it. So I was talking to Adam Darbone, right? And we had this theory that when God created Earth and everything in Earth, right? He was like, I'm gonna make a rule that humans cannot drink a gallon of milk in less than an hour without throwing up. And then I'm just gonna laugh at them whenever they try to do it, right? So eventually he let us like discover the idea of doing it. And then he was like, it's impossible. You're never gonna be able to do it. So I'm just gonna laugh at you and it's gonna be funny because you guys can't do it. So that was our theory. I think it's a pretty funny theory. So I did it, a whole gallon of milk. It wasn't an hour, but I did it. I'm pretty proud of myself, but it was nasty. Oh man, yeah, don't do it. But glad you guys are here. I hope you enjoyed today's youth group. A little update on my M&Ms. If you guys didn't know, I had a whole jar of M&Ms, just like a bunch of different flavors. A lot of them weren't very good, but I think I have my top 4 that I liked more than the other ones, okay? So the classic peanut M&Ms, those are probably my number 1. Definitely very good. Regular M&Ms, also very good. Some people don't like peanut butter M&Ms, but I really do like those ones as well. So those are my top 3. And then the new one, if you guys really love me, then you'll get me these ones. Pretzel M&Ms, so good, okay? They're like perfect circles, and then there's like a ball of pretzel in it. Dude, you can have them like just for days. You can have so many of them. They're actually so good. There's also jalapeno M&Ms. We're going to try at youth group sometime. But I'm telling you guys, pretzel M&Ms, try them out. I think I got them at Target, so I'd highly recommend those. All right? We got some announcements for you guys before we leave. We've got life groups happening. We have high school. We got Bible study. High school girls. We've got Gerbil study, and we've also got a middle school boys and a middle school girls groups. If you want to get more interested in those, you can talk to Sarah Garcia, or you can just message John or the FPCSM Youth Instagram page for more information. Highly recommend those. Definitely better than milk chugging. Those are a great way to get connected. Just talk about Jesus, talk about life, have a solid time, a great time, and yeah. So thank you guys so much for coming to Youth Group. We had a great time with you guys, and yeah, we'll see you next week.